In this video, I will be showing you the Big Sur portion of the Pacific Coast Highway. In late March of 2026, I traveled the bottom half of California Highway 1, and while there were many great places to stop, this was the highlight of them all. This is known to be one of California's best kept secrets, and most beautiful drives. Not just in the Golden State, but in America too. It is estimated that 4 to 5 million people a year drive on this, which compares greatly to Yosemite National Park. By defining Big Sur, it is a region that is mostly a collection of several California state parks, beaches, and protected areas. This will be where the Santa Lucia Mountains rise above the ocean. There are some, but not very many businesses along this stretch, so services may be scarce at times. The section of road was completed in 1937, and 2 years later it became part of the California highway system and has remained Highway 1. While there are plenty of beautiful views of the ocean and nature to view, this road comes with the negatives. Because of the proximity to the ocean and cliffs, the highway is vulnerable to landslides, erosion, and storm damage. These factors, among others, have caused many closures. Most recently in 2023, a mudslide closed down a section past Lucia, and in January 2026, it was reopened to the public after nearly 3 years. Which brings me to, there are no detours. This is a road trip that requires plenty of pre-planning. There is no right or wrong way or direction to travel it. Some people have said if you are going southbound, you get a much better ocean view. I was driving it northbound. Usually the starting point on the southern end is at Ragged Point, which is at the San Luis Obispo and Monterey County line. From there, the scenery changes. The Ragged Point Inn, which is a restaurant and lodging place among other things, was my starting point. From there, it is about a 70 to 75 mile drive as you get into Carmel by the Sea. It is the first city when you're coming from the south. While a short distance like that may take just about an hour and a half, or even less in other places, this is said to be at least 3 hours because of the many twists, turns, hills, and other ways to slow you down. I spent most of my day exploring the area, and I rarely went to the beaches, but spent most of the time visiting the recommended landmarks. There were some that were closed, and also a lot of them required a pass, or paid parking. I'm sure there were plenty of gems that I missed out on, and hopefully I'll return someday. And now for the tips. 1. Have a reliable car. Fill up on fuel before traveling. There is obviously so much to see that it is impossible to cover it all in one day. State parks, beaches, you name it. If you don't plan on eating during the drive, bring snacks and some drinks, like bottled water. There are plenty of roadside pullouts. Stop as many as you can to get great views, and enjoy nature. Take plenty of photos and video. Go at your own pace, and let other cars pass you when necessary. Take plenty of money, and yes, cash and cards. Cell phone service is sketchy in several places. Have a printed map ready just in case. And most importantly, be safe, have fun. You get the idea. I'm sure that I left out other tips, so please feel free to add your own in the comments. And now we're going to start at Ragged Point. Here we go. Let's do this. And then you come down here, and this is a nice photo op that lets you know you are officially entering the Big Sur region. This is known as the portal to Big Sur, shaped like a wooden donut. Well, probably because it is. It's done by Aaron Apple and Abe Toke. Oh yes. So I guess what we're supposed to do is, besides take selfies in front of it, is kind of get a glimpse of what to expect. You can sit up there, or you can go down the trail, or just do what I do, just look down. Now as you're driving from, say, San Simeon to here, you're going to go up quite a few hundred feet. Well, probably not that much, but you're going to go up in elevation or altitude. And then that is the Highway 1, and you can kind of see it for another mile or two. But it's always nice to have a downwards view, and of course listening to the waves and all. Now you can also sit up there. They have sitting areas up there, or you can go down this trail. I'm not going to go all the way down because apparently the steps go down all the way to the, I guess, the beach, but yeah, it's a little too steep for me. So here is a roadside pullout, Soda Springs Trail. And really I'm not gonna check it out, but the main attraction to me is right over there. Now I'm not really sure about the history of this. I even looked online, but this is Soda Springs Waterfall. Yeah, it's kind of hidden. I mean, if you drive fast along this, I mean, you probably will miss it unless you're intentionally looking for Soda Springs Trailhead, which is just right up that way. Oh man, take a look at this. See, there's a waterfall in the back. And I'm just going to kind of look down. Oh, okay. See, it goes, I imagine, into the ocean, because there's a hole down there. Drainage, or rather. But yeah, too cool. Speaking of the ocean, yeah, you can partly see it, but then of course you got these trees and the rock. But hey, nothing's perfect, right? Actually, I will kind of check it out. I mean, I hear the water and everything. So, now there's another small waterfall down there. Too cool. See, look at that over there. I did not know that was even there. It's the surprises that you find when you're on the PCH. And this is only my first time driving it. Now, I did know about that white, they call it the big white rock. I don't know how many of them there are, but I think it's called the Sea of Clouds, if I'm not mistaken. And they're not letting anybody drive on that, probably for the good reasons. There is a steep road that takes you down there, which is on the other end of that cliff. But yeah, I mean, it looks a little dry, but then I was like, well, I wouldn't even risk it anyway. But yeah, and here's what it looks like behind me. Still, this is so sweet. And from down here, the sand looks purplish. Then again, I'm not close, so. So I just passed the hamlet of Gorda. Yeah, it's very small, but they probably advertise themselves as it's the only place to get gas within a 52-mile radius. Like 12 miles south is the place to get gas, or 40 miles north of here. And then they also have the Whale Watchers Cafe, where you can get a $36 cheeseburger and fries and a soda. And just a mile north of Gorda is this scenic spot where you can just pull over. It's called the San Martin Rock Scenic Spot. It looks like a big giant iceberg. I know, you're probably thinking of the Titanic like I am. But yeah, really cool. I mean, you can still see a little fog as I go more towards north. And it looks like there's a nature trail. Well, I mean, I'd be wearing pants if I were you, if you were in boots, if you're going to go down, if you're going to go walk to, I guess that's a closer look at the rock. Alright, time to hit the road. Alright, so I passed by a couple campgrounds, and I passed by Sand Dollar Beach. I didn't stop. There was a $10 parking fee. I said heck with it. But I did find this interesting waterfall that I can't see. I can hear it. Let me see. I don't know, these are just the kind of things I find interesting. Okay, now I can see it now. And somebody left something down there. It's like green and red. I don't know what it is, but whatever. Oh, look, there's a pipe that's going out too. A rubber glove. I don't know, it just looks so cool. and I'm about half a mile south of Lime Kiln. And I did my research before I came here, and it is a recommended area to stop at. However, this is late March, and unfortunately it's not open until April, but I'm gonna go check by there anyway just to make sure. So Lime Kiln was technically open, but not to campers, I guess, but they were going to charge me $10 to park, and I wasn't going to stay there that long. There was nobody running the machine, like no teller or anything. But what I'm looking at right now is the most recent addition to the Big Sur area. This is called Paul's Slide. This is the expensive looking tunnel that protects from falling rocks. This was closed in 2023, or 3 years ago. The project reportedly cost $60 million, and I believe it reopened in early 2024, if I'm not mistaken. It was named after some dude named Paul Collins. But I thought it was worth pulling over and seeing. I don't know what's on top. I imagine there's probably nothing there, but at least we don't have to worry about falling rocks, right? And down here, still looking good. I gotta go a little bit more upwards, looks like, along the PCH. All right, ready to get back on the road. Here we go. All right, I decided to stop at another Vista point. I don't know, it just felt like it was worth stopping at. I mean, you feel like you've seen one, you've seen them all. Well, I mean, that's definitely not the case. Here, the higher you get a nice ocean breeze as always. You get a nice view of the waves and the rocks and all that. And I also just passed the, I guess it's an unincorporated community of Lucia. Didn't look like there was anything there except for maybe a hotel or a motel, maybe a restaurant. Now I'm gonna go on this side. Looks like there's a lot of good flowers, and it looks like there's some flowers blooming. I am not a flowers person, but if anybody can name what these are, hey, by all means let me know in the comments. And then I thought I'd get another view of the road, kind of know what I'm in for. I know I'll be passing through 2 bridges pretty soon. And then I always like to look how forever the ocean is. And it's so weird because where I was just at, you know, it's all cloudy now, or foggy. And now I'm gonna pull off and check out the Big Creek Bridge. This is one of the few cool bridges you can find on this highway. And then I just might see the cove. Wow, check out that view. Now I'm gonna look down. This is the Big Creek Cove right here. And I see some cars and people parked in some tents. I don't know if they were homeless or if they're just camping out, but either way, so nice. Now I'm at Pfeiffer State Park, and one of the most popular attractions is this waterfall, the McWay Falls. I'm going to see if I can access the trail, get a little closer view. I cannot go down there, neither can anyone. So follow me. So here's a little bit better view of it. Now unfortunately the trail where you can get a much better view or closer view, it's closed. And there's actually 2 historical markers down there that talk about Julia Pfeiffer Burns, but I'll just put something on the screen about her. I do not know how long the trail will be repaired. Some say a few years, some say a year. I don't know what to believe anymore, but Anywho, at least we can still see the waterfall. And California isn't really known for its waterfalls, but yes, they do have some. I've not been to Yosemite, but I hear they do have some great waterfalls there, including one of the tallest. But this is one of a few you can get off the Pacific Coast Highway. And again, that beach is off limits to the public. And again, the trail, which is over there. There's a parking area down there. And you can go underneath. There's a little tunnel you can walk through. Well, whenever they get it repaired, that is. But another piece of good news is there's plenty of parking alongside the road there and south. So take your pick. So about a mile or two north of McWay Falls, there's another Vista point. And you'll find a lot of people here just kind of taking in the views. This one's kind of got a much bigger landscape, wider landscape. You don't see any animals, just ocean and rocks. Pretty cool. But there's some historical markers in this Vista point, so I'm going to go ahead and read them. Here's one of the first markers: Red Giants, Trees of the Mist. Talks about the redwood trees, of course, which you'll see as we get more north. And here are 4 more markers, and they all talk about something different, like the Esalen people. Yep, the Esalen, we are still here. It says here, the Esalen, the native people of Big Sur, were one of the smallest tribes in California. Due to their small population and proximity to 3 Spanish missions, they were severely impacted by European contact and domination. For many decades, the Esalen were mistakenly believed to have been completely destroyed by missionization. However, not only did descendants of the mission population survive, some Esalen people may have avoided the missions entirely by retreating far into the Santa Lucia Mountains. A small group remained inland into the 1840s before dispersing to find work on local ranches or to live on the outskirts of growing towns. And then here's an earlier incarnation of the Pacific Coast Highway. Well, it was called the Ocean Highway, going by boat or floating. In 1876, the Pacific Coast Steamship Company carried passengers, mail, and freight to 20 ports in California. It would later expand to Oregon, Washington, and Alaska. It had a chief rival. It was the Pacific Mail Steamship Company, which controlled routes from Central America and Asia. Wow. I'm going to go ahead and skip this one. It's about dog hole ports. And these are about the homesteaders, the pioneers, like Julia Pfeiffer Burns. Homestead Act of 1862 made it possible for citizens to claim 160 acres of surveyed government land. Homesteaders were required to build a dwelling and cultivate the land. After 5 years, they owned their land free and clear. And then early pioneers, Michael and Barbara Pfeiffer, came to Big Sur in 1869 and were among the first European settlers in the area. And this one talks about condors. This right here, of course, is a condor. Looks more like a flying turkey than anything. And if you look closer, there's a rock over there. It's got a natural bridge, a hole in the rock. Pretty cool. And one of my top priorities for Big Sur was to check out Partington Cove. And I did not think it was going to be crowded. I didn't think there was going to be more than 2 or 3 cars. Well, times that by 10. Everybody else had the same idea. But nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and check it out. There is no sign that leads to it, but those who are in the know, that know about it, then yeah. Over there is a trailhead. You can easily park on the side of the road. And even though there is a fence here, that just means don't drive down here. Don't let the fence deter you, because you can just go simply around like all the others are doing. All right, game on. And you don't need me to tell you that it is a steep hike. I'm sure it'll be well worth it, but going back up may be tiring for some people. I can already see the bridge. And of course the ocean. And be sure to make a left onto this bridge. Continue on the right. Yes, here's this tunnel. And we're almost there. Here we go. And this, my friend, is Partington Cove. All right, here we go. Get a nice close-up of the blue waters. Well, it looks more blue-greenish still. Some dude sitting on top of that rock photoing or videoing himself. And now a little view from down to up. Really cool. This is basically how far I'm going to go. I'm not even going to risk it. Unlike that kid over there.
Oh, you didn't tell me you'd been there
And I'm going back on the trail in just a bit. That way it kind of leads you to nowhere, but it gives you a nice view of another mini waterfall. But if you can see that bridge up there, that carries the Pacific Coast Highway, which I'm trekking my way back to now. Alright, now I gotta tough it out, going up the steep way back to the car. I wasn't sure about stopping here, but I thought I'd check out the Henry Miller Memorial Library. It is not a library, from what I understand. Okay. Yeah, Hendrix. Oh, that's Avatar, I think. Looks like one. Look at all these 80s computer modders. That's a cross, and of course that's supposed to be Jesus on there. And we got a stage. Let's see about going in. Alright, who is Henry Miller? Or who was Henry Miller? 1891 and 1980, he was born in New York, lived in Big Sur from 1944 to 1962. He was above all a writer, His most important book was Tropic of Cancer and was hailed by Norman Mailer as one of the 10 or 20 great novels of our century. It was first published in Paris in 1934, and the book was banned in the United States until 1964. During his time in Big Sur, he wrote his Rosy Crucifixion trilogy, The Air-Conditioned Nightmare in Big Sur and the Oranges of Hieronymus Bosch. He was an enormous influence on the Beats. Think of the Beats generation. And he was recognized as being responsible for, to quote scholar James Decker, the free speech that we now take for granted in literature. He apparently did not approve of memorials. He said it defeated the purpose of man's life. Only by living your own life to the fullest can you honor the memory of someone. But his best friend, Emil White, started one anyway. I guess I'll sign the guest book. Now when I complete the PCH on the north end, which is not going to be on this trip, I will be going through something like this, only through a car. But I'm going to go through here anyway. And for lunch and dinner, I combine them too. It's midday. It's about 3:30, so I'm going to go ahead and grab something to eat. Nepenthe, or Nepenthe, I've heard it pronounced both ways, is where I'm going to eat. Now there's just about a dozen spots to eat from throughout the whole Big Sur, but this is probably the most recommended. I mean, nothing against all the others, it's just that every travel YouTuber and travel guide that knows about the PCH and Big Sur, this is the go-to place. And I will warn you, I've been warned many times, this is going to be crazy expensive, but it's well worth it because, I mean, not just the food you're paying for, it's also going to be the views, ambience, and whatnot. And lucky for me, I got to sit on the rail, well, they call it rail seating, which is like right here. And if you just want to sit and chill with a glass of wine, you can do that here. Alright, so I got their ambrosia burger with cheddar cheese, got some mayonnaise on it. It does not come with fries according to the menu, but the waitress insisted she would give me half, but I decided to make it easy for the both of us. I'll just get the coleslaw. Or I could have gotten the garbanzo and beans or salad. But oh well, rabbit food's better than potatoes, I guess, in some ways. And of course with a tea, not a Long Island tea. And while I eat, I'm going to look into the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, that was really good. Of course, I had to leave behind the tomatoes. I'm not a tomato person, except when it comes to ketchup. And the waitress told me if I'm lucky, or if we're lucky, we'll see some whales, but I don't see no animals, except birds. And here's some hot sauce I never heard of. Pepper plant, California style. I don't know, I'm not so sure about this. And on the back of the menu, they got a little bit of history about this place. Nepenthe stands on the side of the log house, Big Sur, 808 feet above sea level, which was built by the Old Trails Club in 1925. 1947, Lolly and Bill Fassett took over the property and moved in with their 5 children. As far as the word Nepenthe, or Nepenthe, it is a word derived from the Greek, meaning no sorrow, a mythical Egyptian drug the wife of Thonis, king of Egypt, gave to Helen, daughter of Jove, to induce forgetfulness and surcease from sorrow. It was mentioned in Edgar Allan Poe's Raven. Homer mentioned it in the Odyssey as well. So what this doesn't mention is Orson Welles and Elizabeth Taylor had dined here. Taylor and her husband, Richard Burton, frequently came here as they were shooting a movie here at the Big Sur. That movie was 1965's The Sandpiper. Alright, I decided to get the dessert. I could also get it a la mode, but the waitress was like, yeah, I'll just put some whipped cream on the side. How's that? And I said, okay, cool. So check it out, deep dish apple pie. Here's another great view from the restaurant. A little foggy or cloudy, I should say. Okay, now I'm at Big Sur State Park. That is Big Sur Lighthouse, right on top of that big rock right over there. And I'm going to make my way to the Vista point. Alright, as it gets later in the day, it's about 5:30, and it is windy like crazy. I gotta put my flannel back on, but still, the views are still there. So that's pretty much why I'm here. There's that big rock again. I lied the last time. The lighthouse is like right on the back of where I was. But yeah. And then you gotta go through some windy parts there, but other than that, it's not so bad. Alright, I'm gonna keep on rolling on the PCH. A couple bridges await me, or at least one, the Bixby one. Alright, here's another pull-off area. This is to view Hurricane Point. Voila. Get a little nice look at that. And yeah, it's still windy out here. But pretty soon I'll be crossing that nice big bridge over there. And here's a marker. California's first official scenic highway, Route 1 in Monterey County from the Carmel River south to the county border. This roadway and its scenic corridor has been preserved for the people of the nation by action of the county of Monterey and the state of California. Gazing at the boundaries of granite and spray, the estate lished sea marks felt behind me. Mountain and plain, the immense breadth of the continent before me, and the mass and doubled stretch of water, by Robinson Jeffers. This was dedicated September 21st, 1966 at this location by Mrs. Lyndon B. Johnson. Cool. And as expected, there will be lots of people out here no matter what time of the day it will be. But for the right reasons. I mean, who doesn't want to get a photo of this nice looking bridge? One of the most beautiful bridges in America. And this bridge just goes over the Bixby Creek, which I can't really see, assuming that it exists. It's probably dry, but maybe during high tide it may be. And the bridge sits above 280 feet above the canyon. Now, I don't think they encourage people to walk on it, although there are some sitting areas, or it looks like there are, throughout the bridge. And from down here you can get a nice view of that rock down there, as well as the natural bridge that goes over it. How about that? And here's another bridge. It's not much of a big deal as the previous Bixby Bridge. This is the Rocky Creek Bridge. Like the first one, or the Bixby Bridge, it was built in 1932. Pretty busy, I'd say. And then I'm going to go ahead and go down there, see if I can get a much better view. Yeah, here's a somewhat better view, but I get a much better view of down there. Wow, it looks like there's a road or something. See if I can go up these steps a little bit. Huh. That'll be what you would find only on the PCH. That must be the Rocky Creek, and it does live up to its name. Alright, here's a much better view of the Rocky Creek. Not too bad, eh? I'm curious as to who lives up there. It's like turquoise on the outside. And then get another shot of the creek, and then nice cool waves. And I'm glad it's a little bit less windy than it was in my previous segments. And now I am at Garrapata State Park, and I'm going to go ahead and check out the beach. There's a walkway that leads there. All I gotta do is just go down this pathway. It'll take me straight to the beach. Yeah, they don't really encourage anybody to swim, but dangerous shore break, waves break in shallow water, and strong current. You could be swept away from shore and could drown. Oh wow. But I like the if in doubt, don't go out. Never heard that before. I don't know why. But I'm gonna go ahead and even though it's not really hot anymore as it was earlier, it's windy, I'm just going to take a stroll on the beach. And now I'm on Garrapata Beach. Oh, I just love walking in the sand. Years from now I'll be like, remember, walking in the sand. Alright, so I'm not gonna get any close, at least to where I'm touching the water. I'm not wearing sandals or anything like that. But instead I'm just gonna have a little front row seat of the waves. Oh man, I feel that little mist. Oh yeah. Oh, check out these walls too. Very cool. I'm not even a geologist or a rock lover, but it's interesting because these have probably evolved over time. See, look at those waves over there. Oh my gosh, those are monster. Yeah, I would not, I mean, if I was a surfer, I would not even like go on those. Uh-oh, coming this way? No. And I'm looking right at the sky. I see the sun and I see a rainbow. Can you dig it? I'm just gonna kind of walk around just a little bit longer, and I guess I'll go back on the road and conclude my Big Sur adventure.